Oh, it's me, Chic. Definitely been a while since I've sat in front of the camera and talked to you guys. There's been plenty of times that I did and I just didn't put the video up because I felt like the opposite of what I was trying to get across. Well, I was trying to promote that I was getting back into cosplay and explaining all the things that kind of brought me down and why I've been went kind of on almost on a break, but I wasn't, because I was still kind of pushing myself out there, and I'm still part of a dance team that we go to conventions, so it wasn't like completely out of the scene. Now rude, I'm on my phone. But after that I would watch the video and be like, I look awful. And in the video I was going over like how I was getting older and my skin and a lot of things like about myself that I wasn't like proud of or happy with. I would see them and be like, I don't even want to put this video up now. Like, I don't like what I look like. I don't like how tired I look. And even like right now, I'm just kind of like, ugh. But I need to make this video. I want to put this up. I'm trying to push through this little weird barrier thing I've been kind of keeping myself in. So let's go. We have a few things to go over and hopefully you guys stick with me through the whole thing. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm not monetizing videos anymore. I was cut from YouTube because I didn't have enough views, which is my bad because I wasn't putting enough videos in like enough time. I think I made, no, I don't know if I think he had to have, I think I had decent views because I still had a lot of reviews like on contacts and other things that people were still watching and tutorials that I made. But what happened was I didn't have 1,000 subscribers, and I need more coffee because I'm like stalling. This is like my fuel. Like, thumbs up this video just for the sake of coffee being like a lifesaver and the reason to get up out of bed. Oh yeah, so I was getting views, but I didn't have like 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, it was a whole big old thing. I was really close to finally getting my first check from YouTube, which I wasn't doing this for money because like I started before that was even really a thing. Like, it was only the big people who got anything, but then they started to kind of like all kinds of people were getting popular and getting known, and I was just like, crap. Like, I used to always have tons of videos up because I started YouTube when it first came out. Like, I remember it being real new, and like that was before like even PewDiePie was like at the top. And I mentioned him because he's like, I think still the most popular one or most followed. And so I remember that being a thing. And oh man, I'm like stalling, sorry guys. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I got cut off from that and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't even feel like encouraged anymore. And people were really sweet. Like, a lot of you guys were sharing my pages, sharing my cosplay, and sharing all this stuff, and I was just like in it, but then at the same time I'm like,
I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't like how I look anymore. I don't care about like a lot of things cosplay related. I was going through weird like,
I don't know, like I was just changing. Like, a lot of the cosplays I was doing I didn't care for anymore. A lot of the little cutesy and girly cosplays, I just like the real feminine ones, I just wasn't feeling. And I still do it right now, but I just wasn't feeling a lot of what I was into. And I don't know, it was just a mess. It was a mess. It was like I hardly even would, like, I just had no desire to do anything. Yeah, I still wanted to be in the community. I still love looking at other people's costumes. I still had the desire to sew. I wanted a sewing room. So here I am now. I am in, I would show you guys the rest of this room, but I was finishing up commissions. I'm working on 2 different costumes for myself and helping Johnny work on something. So this room is like, beyond this camera, thrashed, and it's actually giving me anxiety because I like things clean. Like this, I like it. honestly, the only thing bothering me is probably because that there's dust, and I like white furniture. I have, like, if it was up to me, I'd have a white monitor and white keyboard. I like white. I like things to look very clean and orderly, and that is not what this sewing room is right now. But I guess when is it? I have tons of bins I pulled out from storage. There was a lot going on in my life last year. A lot of moving. I was living in a house that we're renting from, and then the owners wanted to sell it, and we're like, okay, well, let us know when you plan on selling it. Never let us know. They were just one day said, you have to be out in 30 days. We sold the house. Okay, nice to know that someone was even looking at it. Apparently people looked around it. It was family members that looked at the house while we weren't there. They didn't go in, but they looked around and they were like, yeah, we want this house, and we had no clue. So we had to move out, but we fought for 60 days because legally we lived there long enough where like everyone had been there long enough to not just be kicked out within 30 days. And it was just a mess, and I had to put a lot of my stuff in storage and get rid of a lot of stuff because I had no room, like nowhere to put it. And then I moved in. My mom got remarried, and her and my stepdad got a house down the street, and so we were living there, and I was engaged, and my fiance at the time before we got married, which that's another update, he was trying to get a job here because he's from another state, and it was just like he was kind of working and then they let him go because it was like an end of a project kind of deal. It was construction. It was just a mess. It was a mess. And so I'm not giving excuses, but there was a lot going on, and in that time I really wanted to like do stuff, but I was confined to a little room. I had literally like almost a TV, yeah, I think it was on a TV tray. I had my sewing machine, and it was at the edge of my bed, and I felt like I was living in like those Japanese apartments, except for like it was just a bedroom, and then at least I had like a deep closet, like a walk-in closet, which is nice. I kind of miss that. I don't have that here now, but I do have my own sewing room, so there's that. But anyways, that all went on, and then eventually we were like, we gotta get out of here. Like, we can't stay here. We need to find an apartment to move into. The problem is where I live, there's not a lot of open places. Like, there's a lot of apartments, but they're the low income, and unfortunately he makes just enough, like more. Mine alone could, like, I don't make a lot teaching. I'm a teacher. Raise your hand up for those who teach and understand. Oh, that kind of hurt my knee. Anyway, raise your hand if you are a teacher and you understand like the hardships. Like, you feel like you do a lot and you come back exhausted, especially because I teach 4 and 5 year olds, so it's a preschool age, and it's exhausting. And it's a rewarding job in the sense that you are a really like big inspiration. Like, that's a very mind-forming time in their life that they're learning so much. Though people like make fun and say like it's daycare, you're babysitting, and I'm like, you don't understand the things we have to do. Like, and these are our children, and we can't like scold them in a way that you would your child, or, you know, like you lose your patience, and you have to be calm and learn ways to go about it that help them learn in that situation. And at that age, they don't even know how to express themselves, so they struggle with that. So there's a lot of emotional, mental, everything's developing at that age, and it's exhausting. And I don't get paid much. Like, I get paid a little over what someone probably at a fast food restaurant is getting paid for, which they deal with a lot too, though. Like, they have to deal with adults acting like children. But anyway, I just it was just a lot. It's just a lot. And so we were struggling. We're trying to find apartments. We were like worried about having our cats because we wanted to have a few different cats. And so anyway, it was crazy. We were waiting on this one place that had like garages for the apartments, and in that time a coworker told us that they had a house out in the country, and I was like, oh, the country? Like, I'm only used to living in suburban areas with neighbors and fences and just, anyway, we came out to this house, and it's like a bright red house surrounded with orchards, and I was like, this is actually kind of cute. Like, this is nice. And this is after me and Johnny got married, actually. Forgot to mention that. I did mention it on my social media a little bit. I'm not huge on just posting tons of personal stuff. I have a personal Facebook that I use for that. because I try to just keep it on cosplay centered, and he doesn't really cosplay too much. He has before, so he's not on there as much, and he also isn't a big fan of pictures in the camera, so he's not on there, but he's there. He lives here. I'm not making him up. But anyway, this is after we got married, and we were like, we need to like find a place to live that can like accommodate having cats, because we love cats and we just love having fur babies. We're not planning on having kids, not anytime soon, and I'm already getting older, so I don't know if they'll ever happen, and I'm okay with that idea. I love having students, and they're kind of like, I'm the fun aunt they get to see and get inspired by, and then they go home. So it kind of works out that way. Anyway, so we ended up getting this house. That's where I am now. Came with a lot of different bills because we had been used to living with people or just renting small places, and where he lived in Ohio, the house was paid for, so it was just like a yearly like taxes, and in Ohio, that's where he's from, it wasn't as high. So like it was just kind of crazy, like getting a place here. We had to get a second car because his was in Ohio and it wasn't doing, like he didn't want to bring it over here. So there was just a lot. There was a lot of things we had to get. Thankfully the people here had like some appliances they didn't need anymore. My mother and stepfather were like, we don't need our extra fridge that was just in the garage, and it was like fairly new, but they didn't want to get rid of it, so they gave it to us. So it was really helpful, but it was just a stressful time with Johnny switching jobs to more of a installation slash commission one, and it comes in seasons, so he makes like good money for a certain time, and then he has a budget for a few months, and that's where we're at. And unfortunately I have to do the same thing too. So that kind of led into like, yeah, I have a sewing room, and like I'm setting it up, and then I thought, crap, I can't even afford cosplay now. And like with how things are, like for like where my skill level is, and I'm not talking myself up because I'm not that good compared to a lot of people out there, but I am beyond like just getting stuff at Walmart and getting things like too simple, because they don't last as long. And certain costumes and things I make now, like the video game stuff and the nitty gritty, like I want them to be strong and wow off, and if I sell them I want them to be a good quality. So like I just wasn't able really to buy anything. I was still trying to do my Lovely Rushers group thing and attend these events, and I'll be honest, we don't really get paid for these events, and we're not asking to be paid right now. We're still growing and trying to get better, and I think a lot of performers aren't really paid much except for maybe gas, and that's rare. Like it's rare that we get gas for these two things too. So I'm not making money through that. It's kind of like cosplay. We get a booth, which is really nice, but honestly people don't really buy too many prints, I guess, unless you're like show a lot of skin, which I'm not dissing that. I show skin sometimes too. Like I just don't really care for my body, so I don't really get into that. I don't feel like sexy, and I'm not into like showing off my feminine body. Honestly, if I had like more of like a masculine body, I'd probably show it off more, but I don't feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like that. But I'm fine with other people, that's great, but that's kind of what people want. Like, let's be honest, those are the prints that sell, and I just don't. So I don't really make money there either. Bottom line, what I'm getting to is that is another thing that hit me, was I already felt gross about my face and my body was struggling. Like I even hated looking in the mirror, seeing acne, or how like I gained weight in my hips and thighs. I don't like shape on my body. I don't like the feminine shape of my body. It kind of fits into the gender fluid feelings that I have been like had forever and never really knew how to acknowledge any of that. I'm not that doesn't mean like honestly androgyny has been like the main like thing I've always like aimed for, wanted, and I can't really have that, especially with the very feminine curves, having my big round eyes, and anyway, that's a whole other topic, and I don't want to really get into that. I don't really talk about those kind of things too much. I'm dealing with that on my own, in my own way, and so anyway, I just it was a lot of stuff. I'm rambling on at this point, but we need to move on to the next thing. So that kind of moves into what I'm doing now. I'm trying to do commissions on the side, which can kind of burn me out sometimes, because it's hard to like make things and know you're not keeping them. Like I almost like can't understand how people can like make a baby and give it up, because like I make costumes sometimes for other people and I'm like, I don't even want to give this, I want to keep this. Like I put so much work into it. And let's be honest, with commission usually you put a bit more work than what you're getting charged for. Like I put tons of hours in some of these things, hand painting or sewing. I'm not charging for all those hours because there's mistakes in there. There's times I'm getting up, getting down, like to do things, or things just take forever to like sewing on buttons or doing something that you just added in, and you're like, I don't want to charge like $15 an hour for like me to have hand sewn the buttons. So there's things that I change, and I try to make it cheap for my friends. A lot of these people are like people I know. Only a few times has it been people from other states, which is kind of neat that they found me and like want me to make their stuff. But then I'm thinking, you're not here and I can't fit it on your body and I hope you like this. But commissions aren't my dream. It's not my dream. It's honestly, it's like babysitting or something to me. It's something I do because I'm trying to earn extra money right now. When I am teaching, like I said, I don't make tons of money. I'm trying to live my life, pay my bills. And so that leads into, finally gave in because I saw a lot of friends doing this. They have coffee accounts, or coffee. I believe that's how it's pronounced because it says buy a coffee for, and to me I read that as coffee. I've heard Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi, I don't know, but I believe it's Ko-Fi. I don't know. But I got one, and I will link it below. But this is purely donations if you guys ever. There's sometimes people ask online like, are you selling anything, or I'd like to donate to you, which is really sweet because some people really like my costumes for whatever reason. If you saw like the craziness I do to make things look certain ways, that you'd be like, what the heck? But it's cool, it's really nice, and it does encourage me as an artist. It's nice to hear feedback where people are like, I like the work, because it's a lot of work. At the same time, I love it either way, so I still do it whether people like it or not. I'm not doing it purely for the likes. Same with my videos, like my con vlogs. Some of them get, like a lot of them get under 1,000 views, a lot of them get under 100 views, and then there's just some that it usually ranges from like 200 to 300 views, and that's it, and that's fine. Like honestly, I like to do whatever, like people do kind of experience the con and be like, do I want to go to that or not? And I want to get better at it because I tend to get like lost in the whole convention thing, so that I'm like having the camera down and I'm seeing all this cool stuff, and then later I'm like, oh crap, I didn't film any of that. I'm just watching it with my eyes and zoning out because it's like awesome. And I also want to start filming more local conventions because they really need help like getting out there. So I really like to get into that too. And that's the stuff like my camera equipment and things like that. I kind of want to update and get some new things. I love this camera I have. I have the Canon G7X. It's really great for vlogging. But I'd like to get like some umbrellas and things because my husband actually wants to get into doing some photography. He wants to do some photo shoots for me, of me. And so I can start selling a few more prints. I might get a little bit daring in some of them. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm just trying to, in a sense, I'm trying to kind of make some money through my art because I want it to kind of go somewhere where it helps me out in a sense. But I kind of want to keep that within like just the cosplay budget is the cosplay budget, because my working and my job and everything, that is for bills and like, you know, some clothes and food or whatever, you know, the stuff I guess you have to live. But for this coffee thing, I want people to know that I want to put this towards my costumes, and hopefully if they're nice enough, I can even sell them or give them out. I do have a lot of costumes in bins that I'm willing to give. I think I'm going to bring them to Nitro Comic Con, which I can link that event too. That's the next event I'm going to, and I will be there at the lovely Rushers booth. I haven't been having my booth in a while. I actually was invited to a convention in October as a guest, and I haven't been asked in a while because I publicized a while back that I didn't want to do guest things anymore. I was feeling burnt out. That was the beginning of me going downhill with the cosplay thing, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of getting here and sitting forever, and my drive is just not here, and I felt like a fake. Like I felt bad people were looking up to me because I was just like randomly throwing on like last minute costumes and being like, yeah, I'm cosplayer, blah blah. So I quit that for a while, but now I got asked again, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a guest, and I'm gonna move back into this. Whether I'll be asked again somewhere else, I don't know. I don't live for that, but I thought, you know what, let's put myself out there. I have some t-shirt ideas, I have some new print ideas that I want to find an artist that can make, like, I draw on stuff, but I'm not that great with making it look clean and nice. So I want to find like an artist that can make maybe like little mascot, like little versions of me, or like sticker forms. I love stickers. I don't know. If you guys have ideas, let me know. Just stuff kind of cute like that. Anyway. Oh, those are my ideas. And that's why I have the coffee thing. So I want people to know that's for like cosplay stuff. And then I have been working on some Dark Souls costumes. I have Grey Rat, who I really love him. I do want to start doing more male costumes. Like I said, I just don't feel like cutesy or like that sexy look, but I still try to pull it off, like with Bulma and stuff. I really liked being Bulma because she's from my childhood of like 7th grade. I didn't like her at the time because she had Vegeta and Trunks. So she was Trunks' mom. So I was like, whatever. And then I started like Vegeta and I'm like, oh, that's his wife. I don't like her either. You know, 7th grade mentality. Weird 7th grade mentality. I even wrote like a story where I killed her. I wrote really weird stuff when I was young, to where I think people would like send me to counseling if they read it. I don't know, maybe everyone's just really weird and like secretly violent in middle school. Everyone thought I was a shy but sweet kid. They didn't look in my journal, and that's good. I still have those journals. So I should probably burn them. I don't know, they're really weird, and they like, I would like talk about like the kids that made fun of me. I don't remember kids making fun of me too much, but apparently like I was picked on, but who isn't, I guess. And then anyway, I could go on forever with these stories though. I have weird, like, I was a weird kid. So we're gonna move on. Con vlogs, yeah. So I want to start doing more of those. I'd love to just attend conventions and show through video like all the cool things. I love putting video together. Like, I enjoy sitting at my computer and editing like the different things that happen at the cons. Only thing not fun is like editing conversations or certain things where people share information they don't want out, or like my husband sometimes like says certain things that I'm like, that's gonna like offend people. He's like, I don't know, he's not mean, he just says whatever's on his mind. And me, I'm like, I'm trying to keep this like family, kind of like family friendly videos. So I'm kind of like but I'm not being monetized, so I guess it doesn't matter, but it doesn't fit my feels and vibes that I throw out there. So, but I love him, he's a good guy, treats me well. Okay, so I think that's it. That's all my video is going to be, is me ranting. This is a long video. I need to edit the crap out of it. So my camera actually shut off because I went too long and my memory card was full. Like, had like 2 different conventions on this thing. So anyway, it shut off, but just letting you guys know, I'm looking at the screen and not the camera. But thank you guys for watching so much. I know this is long, whatever. If you are interested in anything I kind of mentioned below, I put links to what I could remember I said. And you guys always feel free to leave me comments, questions, or even like requests of things to do. I have tutorials I can do on like pattern making certain costumes, or I want to start doing wig and contact reviews because I know I look for those things. So anyway, thanks guys for listening or whatever, clicking. Bye. I said bye.